There was a time when a glass of orange juice was just as common at breakfast as the sun coming up, bright, familiar, and always there. But somewhere along the way, things changed. Maybe it was the busy mornings, new trends, or just a habit that faded without anyone realizing. But even now, one sip brings it all back. The sweet tang, the refreshing taste, that feeling of a relaxed morning. So, here's the question. When did we stop pouring, and why haven't we started again? Well, let's find out how orange juice is made in a factory. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Process Powerhouse channel. Leave us a comment to let us know what mealtime favorites you'd like to see next. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll find a carton so old it's eligible for a senior discount. For most of history, people loved eating oranges, but drinking them took a bit longer to become popular. Oranges were eaten fresh, dried, or made into marmalade. And while some people might have squeezed a bit of juice now and then, it wasn't a daily thing. The push for orange juice began in the 18th century, thanks to sailors who were getting seriously sick. Long sea trips caused scurvy, a disease from a lack of vitamin C that made gums bleed, teeth fall out, and spirits drop fast. In the 1740s, British naval doctor James Lind found that citrus fruits could prevent scurvy, and the British Navy started giving sailors lime juice, which is why they were called limeys. But oranges were still mostly seen as a snack, not a drink. By the early 20th century, America had a problem. Too many oranges and not enough people eating them. Farmers in Florida and California were growing a lot of citrus and needed to sell it before it spoiled. In 1916, Sunkist came up with a clever campaign to get people to drink an orange. The idea was simple. Instead of eating the fruit, why not squeeze it into a glass? It worked. Sales of orange juice went up, and squeezing fresh juice at home became part of breakfast. But the big change came during World War II, when the US Army needed to give soldiers vitamin C without shipping fresh fruit. The solution? Frozen concentrated orange juice. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. And after the war, brands like Minute Maid made it a popular household item. Just add water, stir, and enjoy. By the 1950s and 60s, orange juice was a must-have at breakfast. TV ads showed happy families starting their day with a tall, refreshing glass, and slogans like, "It's not just for breakfast anymore," helped boost sales. Supermarkets filled their shelves with fresh juice, frozen concentrate, and eventually, the popular not-from-concentrate cartons. For years, orange juice was as common at breakfast as eggs and toast. But like all trends, its popularity started to fade. As time went on, people became more concerned about sugar content, and busy lifestyles meant fewer sit-down breakfasts, so orange juice slowly lost its place at the table. Even with the rise of cold brew coffee, protein shakes, and the latest superfood smoothies, orange juice is still a classic. That first sip gives you the same sweet, tangy taste, whether it's fresh squeezed, store-bought, or in a mimosa at brunch. It might not be the top breakfast drink anymore, but let's face it, some things are just too good to disappear. Enough history lessons. Let's take a look inside the factory. The process starts with sourcing the oranges, which is key to making sure the final product is tasty and high quality. The main types of oranges used for juice are Valencia and navel oranges. While navel oranges are mostly eaten fresh because of their thick skin and easy peel, Valencia oranges are juicier and have a slightly tangy sweetness, making them the top choice for mass production. These oranges grow in warm places like Florida, California, and Brazil, where plenty of sunlight, moderate rainfall, and rich soil help produce the best fruit. Florida, in particular, is known for supplying most of the US orange juice, while Brazil is the world's biggest orange juice exporter, meeting much of the global demand. Each region has its own harvest season, with Florida's running from November to June and California's from December to March. During harvest, growers aim to pick the oranges when they're perfectly ripe, as the juice tastes best at that point. The process starts with hand-picking the fruit, making sure to handle delicate varieties carefully to avoid bruising, which can affect the flavor. For larger operations, mechanical harvesters may be used, which shake the fruit off the tree and catch it in nets. However, Hand picking is still the best way to keep the fruit quality high and ensure only the best oranges are used for juice. Once the oranges are picked, they are quickly sent to the processing plant, usually in refrigerated trucks, to keep them fresh. This fast transport is important because if the fruit is left in the sun or heat, the juice quality can drop. The fruit is still alive, and oxidation starts right after it's picked, so keeping it cool is key to preserving the juice's taste. The quality of the fruit is the first step, and if the oranges aren't fresh and top quality, it will show in the final juice. When the fruit arrives at the processing plant, it's carefully checked to make sure no damaged or overripe oranges are used for juicing. Any fruit that's harmed during transport or harvest can make the juice taste sour or bitter. Sorting the fruit by ripeness and quality helps ensure that only the best oranges are used. Some factories use advanced sorting machines that scan each fruit to find issues like color differences or imperfections. This makes sure the juicing process goes smoothly and the final product is consistent and high quality. When the oranges arrive at the processing plant, they are quickly moved to the washing area for a thorough cleaning. This step is important to remove dirt, pesticides, and any other residues from the orchards or transport. The washing is done in large water tanks, and some plants use special cleaners or scrubbing systems to make sure every orange is clean. High-pressure water jets are then used for a final rinse to get rid of any leftover soap or residue. Since the juice will touch the fruit's skin, it's crucial that the oranges are completely free of any harmful chemicals or dirt that could end up in the juice. After washing, the oranges are sorted by size, ripeness, and quality. This sorting process uses both machines and people to make sure only the best fruit is chosen for juicing. Oranges that are damaged or too ripe are taken out. They may be thrown away, used for other products, or sent to a market where lower quality fruit can still be sold. Some factories use optical sorting systems with sensors and cameras to automatically remove fruit that doesn't meet the quality standards, getting rid of any blemished or overripe pieces. The sorting process ensures that the juice is consistent and high quality. For example, when processing a lot of fruit from different groves or regions, the fruit needs to be sorted by ripeness. Unripe fruit can make the juice sour and less tasty, while overripe fruit can cause a fermented or off taste. Sorting is key because the taste and quality of the juice depend on how fresh and ripe the fruit is. Manufacturers take extra care with this step to make sure the final product meets customers' expectations for flavor, texture, and consistency. Another part of sorting is deciding which oranges go into different products. For example, some oranges are saved for fresh squeezed juices or not from concentrate juices, while others are used for concentrated juice. This helps make sure each batch of juice is made with the right oranges for the right product, keeping things consistent across different types of juice. Sorting the oranges by quality and ripeness also makes it easier to match the fruit to the needs of the production line. Once the oranges are sorted and cleaned, they're ready to be juiced. This is where the real extraction happens. The most common method is mechanical pressing, where the oranges are cut in half and placed in juicing machines. These machines use pressure and rotating blades to squeeze the juice out of the fruit. The goal is to get as much juice as possible without crushing the seeds or pulp, as they can make the juice bitter or grainy. The juice flows through holes in the machine while the rind and other solid parts are left behind. Recently, cold-pressed juicing has become more popular, especially for premium juices. Cold pressing works differently. Instead of using heat or mechanical pressure, the oranges are put in a hydraulic press, where a lot of pressure is applied to extract the juice. This method helps keep more of the natural vitamins, enzymes, and flavors in the fruit. Unlike traditional juicing, where heat can destroy some nutrients, cold pressing keeps the juice tasting fresh and maintains its nutritional value. While it's slower and requires special equipment, making it more expensive, cold-pressed juice has become known for being a high-end, healthy option. The juice is then filtered to remove any seeds, pulp, or other solids that might have gotten in during extraction. Filtration is usually done with fine mesh screens that let the juice pass through while trapping the impurities. Depending on the type of juice, some pulp may be kept in, giving it a thicker texture, while other juices are strained several times for a smoother, clearer look. Juice with pulp often tastes more natural, while pulp-free juice has a cleaner, lighter flavor. After the juice is filtered, it's either stored in large tanks or prepared for pasteurization or concentration. At this point, manufacturers may also start blending different batches to make sure the flavor is consistent, since oranges can taste slightly different depending on where they're grown or which batch they come from. Blending helps create the right flavor. Some manufacturers might add extra vitamin C to boost the juice or keep it fresh, though many prefer to keep it as natural as possible. Pasteurization is an important step in making orange juice because it makes sure the juice is safe to drink and lasts longer. The juice is heated to about 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius, and kept at that temperature for 1-2 minutes. This process kills harmful bacteria and other microorganisms that could spoil the juice. While pasteurization can change the juice a bit by reducing some of its delicate flavors and nutrients, like vitamin C, it's necessary to keep the juice safe and fresh during transport and storage. There are two main ways to pasteurize juice: flash pasteurization and high-temperature short-time (HTST) pasteurization. Flash pasteurization is more common for large-scale juice production. It heats the juice quickly to the right temperature and then cools it down fast. HTST is similar, but uses a bit longer heating times. Both methods kill harmful microorganisms without changing the juice's flavor and texture too much. Manufacturers adjust the temperature and time to make sure the juice is safe without overcooking it. Some premium juice makers use alternative methods to pasteurization, like high-pressure processing, HPP. Instead of using heat, HPP uses very high pressure to kill bacteria. The juice is placed in a special chamber and exposed to pressures up to 87,000 psi. This method kills harmful bacteria without heat, helping to keep the flavor and nutrients better than traditional pasteurization. HPP is often used for cold-pressed juices that focus on maintaining the fresh taste and health benefits of the fruit. Though more expensive, HPP makes high-quality juice that tastes as close to freshly squeezed as possible. Despite its benefits, pasteurization is still the most common method for large-scale juice production because it's efficient and affordable. It allows manufacturers to make large amounts of juice that can be safely stored, shipped, and sold around the world. While consumers might not always notice small flavor differences between pasteurized and fresh juices, pasteurization is important for keeping orange juice safe, long-lasting, and available. Whether using traditional pasteurization or newer methods like HPP, this step is key to making sure the juice is safe to drink at home. For some orange juice products, especially those labeled "from concentrate," the juice goes through a process that removes some of its water. The juice is heated in a vacuum, which makes the water evaporate at lower temperatures. This removes about 60 to 65% of the water, making the juice smaller in volume and easier to store and ship. This process helps lower shipping costs because the juice takes up less space. The concentrated juice is then stored in large tanks or frozen to keep its quality. Once the juice is ready to be restored, the concentrated juice is mixed with water to bring it back to its original form. The amount of water added is carefully measured to make sure the flavor, texture, and nutrition stay the same as the original juice. Some manufacturers mix concentrates from different regions or harvests to keep the taste consistent throughout the year. For juices that are concentrated and then restored, it's important to have a steady supply of fresh fruit to make sure each batch of concentrate meets the required quality and flavor standards. While concentrated juice is common and more affordable, the process can change the flavor a bit compared to fresh squeezed juice. The evaporation process removes some of the fresh, citrusy aroma and taste. To fix this, many manufacturers add flavor packs made from the same oranges used in the juice. These packs contain oils and other compounds that help bring back the fresh flavor. Adding flavor packs is a standard practice to make sure the juice tastes consistent. The concentration process is important for producing juice on a large scale, especially for shipping juice worldwide or for products with a long shelf life. Even though it changes the flavor a little, concentrated juice is a key part of the juice industry because it's a reliable and cost-effective way to distribute juice while keeping most of the fruit's flavor. For those who want a fresher, more natural option, non-concentrated juices and cold-pressed varieties are often preferred, but they usually cost more because of the more complex production methods. After the juice is extracted and filtered, manufacturers may adjust the flavor, especially when using juice from different harvests or regions. Oranges, like other fruits, can taste slightly different because of things like soil, weather, and when they were picked. This can cause small changes in sweetness, acidity, and taste. To make sure the flavor stays consistent, manufacturers blend different batches of juice together. Blending is a careful process that needs close attention. The goal is to make a juice that tastes the same no matter when it's made, which can be tricky with fresh fruit. For example, one batch of juice might be too sour, while another could be too sweet. By mixing juices from different places, manufacturers can make sure the juice is always sweet, tangy, and refreshing. This is especially important for 100% orange juice, so customers always get the same taste every time they buy a bottle. Some companies also use flavor packs to adjust the taste of the juice. These packs are made from concentrated orange juice and oils from the peel and zest. They help boost the flavor and smell, making the juice taste more like fresh squeezed, especially after pasteurization or concentration. Flavor packs are used in small amounts and usually come from the same type of oranges used in the juice. For 100% orange juice, the packs are used sparingly but help ensure the flavor stays consistent. Blending is also important when making juice blends, like mixing orange juice with tropical fruits like mango or pineapple. The different juices are combined to make sure they taste, feel, and sweeten just right together. Manufacturers adjust the blend during production to get the flavor balance that customers like. These careful adjustments are what create the familiar taste of orange juice we all enjoy. Packaging is an important step in the juice production process, as it keeps the juice fresh and safe from the factory to the store. After pasteurization and/or concentration, the juice is packed in different containers like cartons, plastic bottles, and glass bottles. The type of packaging depends on factors like how long the juice needs to last, whether it's fresh or concentrated, and marketing plans. Aseptic packaging is often used for juice with a long shelf life. The juice is pasteurized and then put in sterile containers so it doesn't need refrigeration until open, making it easy for consumers and cheaper for manufacturers. Aseptic packaging works by sealing the juice in a way that keeps out bacteria, air, and light, helping it stay fresh for months. The packaging material is chosen to protect the juice from light and air, which can spoil it over time. Many brands use cartons made of paperboard and aluminum to keep the juice fresh. The juice is filled into these containers in a clean environment to avoid contamination. Once sealed, the cartons are ready for shipping and storage. This method lets juice be sent over long distances without needing refrigeration, greatly extending its shelf life. For high-end juices like cold-pressed types, manufacturers might use glass bottles or plastic containers that show off the juice's fresh and natural look. These containers often have a more natural feel and are liked by people who care about sustainability and the environment. Although glass bottles are heavier and break more easily than plastic, many consumers are willing to pay more for juices in glass bottles because they seem more pure and authentic. This packaging is also used when brands want to emphasize the quality of their product, as glass is often linked to premium goods. Packaging also includes adding labels and branding. Labels give important details about the juice, like nutritional facts, ingredients, and sometimes where the fruit comes from. The design of the packaging is also important because it needs to catch the eye and attract customers. For orange juice, packaging can range from modern bottles to classic rustic cartons. The design is shaped by marketing trends and what customers expect, making sure the product appeals to its target audience while showing the brand's focus on quality. Orange juice has stayed one of the most popular drinks worldwide because of its great taste, convenience, and nutritional benefits. Its natural sweetness, refreshing flavor, and bright color make it a classic choice, especially for breakfast. Over time, improvements like pasteurization, concentration, and new packaging have made sure orange juice is always available, safe, fresh, and consistent in quality, no matter the season or location. These changes have also made it possible to ship it worldwide, so it can be enjoyed all year long, no matter where it's made. Orange juice has stayed popular by adapting to different tastes, offering options like cold-pressed, organic, and from concentrate. Its natural health benefits, like being full of vitamin C, also keep it in line with health trends. As long as it still gives that refreshing, sunny taste, orange juice is likely to stay a kitchen staple. With its consistent quality, new ideas, and connection to our daily habits, orange juice is set to remain a favorite for many years. Orange juice is more than just a drink. It's a part of daily life and tradition. From a morning glass to holiday meals and brunches with friends, it's linked to rituals that give it special meaning. This connection has helped keep it a symbol of energy, refreshment, and comfort. As brands introduce new flavors, packaging, and health-focused options, orange juice remains popular by sticking to what people love while adapting to new trends. Sour Patch Kids have been surprising our taste buds for years, with that sour kick followed by a sweet twist. But have they always been like this, or has something changed? Were they more sour before, or is it just our memories? Maybe it's our taste buds that have changed. Well, let's find out how Sour Patch Kids are made in a factory. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Process Powerhouse channel. Leave us a comment to let us know what mealtime favorites you'd like to see next. Just don't ask us for the recipe. We still can't get that sourness out of our mouths. Sour Patch Kids have a history as sweet and sour as the candy itself. They were originally called Mars Men when first made in 1979 by Johann's Confectionery. These sour treats were meant to be a fun twist on regular gummy candy, like a superhero in the candy world. But when Mars Men didn't quite catch on, maybe the name was too weird, the candy was given a new look and renamed Sour Patch Kids in the 1980s. The new name came from the Little Rascals, mischievous kids who were sweet one moment and causing trouble the next. They were like that friend who's fun at the party but might steal your fries when you're not looking. Who doesn't like a little mischief with their snacks? Sour Patch Kids hit the shelves and quickly became popular with both kids and adults because of their perfect mix of sour and sweet. It was like a candy roller coaster, no long lines or screaming, but you might make a sour face before the sweet part kicks in. And let's be honest, you've probably had a moment where you toss a handful in your mouth, hoping to find your favorite flavor. They were so bad, they were good. Over time, they've added new flavors, like blue raspberry, because why not? But let's face it, we're still fans of the original flavors. They're like classic rock in the candy world. They never go out of style. So, the sour coating? It's made from citric acid, which is what makes you pucker up like you've bitten into a lemon. It's a mix of sour and sweet all at once, but somehow we keep coming back for more because we'll take the sour to get to the sweet. After all, we live in a world where we willingly go for that sour kick in exchange for a quick sugar rush. So, next time you eat a Sour Patch Kid, just remember, it's not just a snack. It's a bit of candy history and a lot of flavor chaos. Embrace the sour, enjoy the sweet, and maybe share, or not, because we all know that one person who'll take the last one. And that's the sweet and sour history of Sour Patch Kids. Now, let's see how these little troublemakers are made. The journey of Sour Patch Kids starts with picking the best ingredients, each adding to the candy's unique taste and texture. The main ingredients, sugar, corn syrup, and gelatin are the key parts of the candy. Sugar gives the sweetness that balances the sour flavor, making it taste sugary after the sour hit. Corn syrup gives the candy its chewy texture, making each Sour Patch Kid satisfying to bite into. Gelatin helps the candy hold its shape and keeps it soft but firm. This mix of softness and structure is what makes Sour Patch Kids so popular. Finally, food coloring is added to make the candy bright and colorful, so it's easy to spot on the store shelf. Getting high-quality citric acid is an important part of making the candy. Citric acid, usually from fruits like lemons and limes, is sometimes made in labs for larger batches to keep things the same every time. It's the key ingredient that gives Sour Patch Kids their strong sour taste, the kind that makes you pucker up right away. This sour coating is a big reason fans keep coming back, and it pairs perfectly with the candy's sweetness. The way the sourness hits first, then the sweetness follows, makes the candy stand out from others. For those who like a challenge, that first sour punch makes you want to grab another one. To make sure only the best ingredients are used, Sour Patch Kids are made with products from trusted suppliers who follow strict quality checks. These suppliers must ensure their ingredients meet high standards for taste, safety, and purity. For example, corn syrup has to meet specific sweetness levels to balance the flavors, and gelatin needs to be of the right grade to give the chewy texture. This attention to detail ensures every batch of Sour Patch Kids is the same. No matter when or where you buy them, they should always taste and feel the same. And that starts with using the best ingredients. When the ingredients arrive at the factory, they go through a series of tests to check that the flavor, texture, and quality are consistent. This is important because even small changes in ingredients can affect the candy. The process is very sensitive, so thorough testing ensures that every batch of Sour Patch Kids stays the same in taste and texture. This careful attention during the sourcing and testing stages makes sure that each bag of Sour Patch Kids you buy has the perfect mix of sweet, sour, and chewy goodness. After the ingredients are tested and ready, they are mixed into a smooth base. In big mixers, sugar, corn syrup, water, and gelatin are combined. The gelatin must fully dissolve to avoid any clumps that could mess up the candy's chewy texture. The mixture is then heated to the right temperature to make sure everything blends evenly. This step is important because if the heat is off, the texture could turn grainy or uneven, affecting the final candy. As the mixture heats up, candy makers slowly add flavorings and food coloring, which are key to both the taste and look of the candy. This is when Sour Patch Kids start to take shape. Each batch might have different flavors or colors, depending on the type of candy being made. For example, the red Sour Patch Kids taste like strawberry, while the green ones have a tangy lime flavor. These flavorings are chosen carefully to match the sour coating and make sure the candy tastes great and gives a balanced, enjoyable experience. Adding food coloring at this stage is important to give Sour Patch Kids their bright, bold colors. The colors are carefully measured to get the right look. If too much is used, the candies could look too colorful, while too little might make them look dull. Finding the right balance is important to make sure each Sour Patch Kid looks as good as it tastes. The goal of this mixing process is to make a smooth mixture that can easily be poured into molds. It needs to be just the right thickness, not too thick, which would make it hard to pour, and not too thin, which could stop the candy from setting right. Getting the consistency just right is what gives Sour Patch Kids their smooth, chewy texture and bright color that people love. Once the candy mixture is ready, it's poured into molds made of metal or silicone to keep them strong and precise. These molds shape the candy into the famous kid figure, and a light layer of cornstarch is added to stop the candy from sticking. This cornstarch coating helps the candy come out of the mold once it's cooled and firmed up. Shaping the candy is an important step because it ensures each Sour Patch Kid is the same size and shape in every batch. After the candy mixture is poured into molds, it's left to cool and harden. This can take a few hours or up to a day, depending on how thick the candy is. During this time, the candy gets its chewy texture and the kid shape forms. The cooling process is important because it allows the gelatin to set and the candy to firm up. If it cools too quickly or isn't given enough time, the candy might not be as chewy or may not hold its shape properly, so the timing is crucial. As the candy cools, it's carefully watched to make sure it reaches the right texture. The gelatin works during this time to give the candy its chewy feel. At this point, the candy is still plain and waiting to become the sweet and sour treat we know. Workers regularly check to make sure the candy is setting properly and not sticking. Once it's fully cooled, the Sour Patch Kids are carefully taken out of the molds. With the cornstarch helping them come out easily, the candies are still a little soft and sticky, but now look like the fun shapes we recognize. What really makes Sour Patch Kids different from other candies is their unique sour sugar coating. Once the candy is molded and shaped, it's moved to big tumbling machines where it gets covered in a mix of sugar and citric acid. The citric acid is key to giving the candy its signature sour taste, making your mouth pucker with that burst of tartness as soon as you take a bite. The sour sugar is applied generously, making sure each candy is fully coated with the tangy mix. The tumbling process is key to making sure the sour coating is spread evenly. As the candies rotate in the tumbling drum, every side gets covered in sour sugar, so no piece is missed. The right amount of sour sugar is very important. Too little, and the candy won't be sour enough. Too much, and it could cover up the sweetness. Getting this balance right is tricky, so the team has to be careful to make sure each candy has the right mix of sour and sweet. Citric acid does more than just make the candy sour. It also leaves a tangy aftertaste that sticks around after the sweetness fades, giving you a two-step flavor experience. This mix of sweet and sour is what makes Sour Patch Kids so hard to resist. The sour sugar coating is the candy's signature feature, and without it, Sour Patch Kids wouldn't be as exciting. After coating the candies, any extra sour sugar is shaken off, and they're left to cool and dry. This helps the sour sugar stay on properly and keeps the candies looking fresh and bright. After the sour sugar is added, the Sour Patch Kids go through a drying and cooling process to make sure they keep their chewy texture. If they're not dried correctly, the coating could get sticky, and the candies might stick together, ruining the quality. This stage also gives the gelatin more time to set, so each piece stays chewy and satisfying, just like fans expect. Without this step, the candy wouldn't have its usual texture. The drying happens in special rooms or machines that control the temperature and humidity to make sure the candies dry evenly. These rooms and machines help keep the candies from becoming too soft or too hard. The candies are carefully checked during this time to make sure they stay chewy. If they hold too much moisture, they get too soft, but drying them too much makes them tough and less enjoyable. This step needs to be done just right to get the perfect texture for Sour Patch Kids. During drying, the candies are rotated and mixed regularly to stop them from sticking together. If they start clumping, workers step in to separate them by hand. This extra care keeps the candy's shape and quality intact, making sure no Sour Patch Kid gets stuck or loses its signature form. The candies are closely watched to make sure they stay fresh and chewy, without becoming too sticky or too dry. Once the drying is done, the Sour Patch Kids are firm, chewy, and perfectly flavored, ready for the final check before they're sent out to consumers. Quality control is key to making sure Sour Patch Kids stay consistent and high quality. After drying and cooling, the candies are checked carefully to ensure they meet standards for size, shape, flavor, and look. Both machines and people help with this process to catch any flaws. Machines are set to find any size issues and quickly separate candies that don't meet the right measurements. Human workers also check the candies by hand to make sure they have the right sour sugar coating and aren't broken or misshapen. This inspection helps spot any small flaws that machines might miss. Inspectors look for things like uneven coating or small shape issues. If anything is wrong, those candies are thrown out or sent back to be fixed. The quality control process also checks that the sour coating is consistent. Sour Patch Kids are known for their perfect balance of sour and sweet, so it's important that every candy has the right amount of sour coating. If some candies are too sour or not sour enough, they are removed to keep the flavor the same. This step helps make sure each batch is just as good as the last. Once the Sour Patch Kids pass the visual inspection and quality checks, they're ready for packaging. This step makes sure every bag has candies that look and taste just right. Consistency in shape, size, and flavor is important because fans expect the same great experience every time. After passing quality control, Sour Patch Kids move on to packaging. Each candy is weighed and portioned to make sure every bag has the right amount. Packaging machines fill bags with Sour Patch Kids, checking the weight for accuracy. The bags are then sealed to keep them fresh and prevent air or moisture from getting in. Proper sealing is important because the air can change the candy's texture and make them lose their chewy bite. The packaging process also makes sure Sour Patch Kids stand out. The bags are printed with bright, fun designs that make them easy to spot on store shelves. These bold designs attract customers and highlight the candy's playful vibe. Each bag is sealed tightly to keep the candy fresh, so when you open it, the Sour Patch Kids taste just as fresh and flavorful as when they were made. The bags also play an important role in protecting the candy during transport and storage. Since Sour Patch Kids are gummy and a bit sticky, the packaging needs to be strong enough to keep them from getting damaged or sticking together. The bags are made to handle shipping and keep the sour coating intact. They also help keep moisture out, which could cause the candy to clump or lose its texture. Once sealed and packed, the Sour Patch Kids are ready to be sent to warehouses. From there, they start their journey to stores, making sure they're always available for you to grab whenever you want a quick, sour treat. Once the Sour Patch Kids are packaged, they're ready to head to warehouses across the country. The candy is loaded into large containers and shipped by truck to different distribution centers. This process is key to getting the candy to stores everywhere. From the warehouses, the candy is sorted and sent to stores, so it's available at your local grocery store, convenience store, or candy aisle. At the warehouses, Sour Patch Kids are kept in temperature-controlled rooms to keep them fresh. Sour candy can be affected by heat or humidity, which can change its texture or cause it to clump. To prevent this, the temperature and humidity are carefully controlled, keeping the candy in the best condition. This storage ensures that Sour Patch Kids stay as fresh as when they first left the factory. Once the candy arrives at the warehouse, it's organized based on where it's needed. For example, if a store needs more Sour Patch Kids for a busy time like Halloween, staff will gather the right amount and get them ready for shipping. This system makes sure stores always have enough Sour Patch Kids, no matter the season. Once everything is sorted, it's ready to be sent to stores, so it stays fresh for you to enjoy. Sour Patch Kids are popular because of their mix of sour and sweet flavors, which make them stand out and keep people coming back. The sour burst followed by the sweet taste creates a fun and exciting flavor that sets them apart from other candies. Over time, the brand has added new flavors while keeping the classic taste fans love. The fun branding, chewy texture, and bright colors also make them a treat that's not only tasty but also looks great. Sour Patch Kids stay popular because they focus on consistency and quality. From testing ingredients to carefully making each batch, every piece gives the same great experience. This reliability has helped keep fans loyal. The brand also stays fresh by using new marketing ideas and connecting with fans, which keeps things exciting. In short, Sour Patch Kids remain popular because they've perfected making candy that's both classic and fun. Hummus has been around for over 7,000 years, but it still feels like a new snack. Pretty wild, right? The funny thing is, even though hummus is so popular, there's still a lot of debate about where it really comes from. Some say it's from the Levant, others think it's from Egypt. Everyone has their own take. Well, let's find out how hummus is made in a factory. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Process Powerhouse channel. Leave us a comment to let us know what mealtime favorites you'd like to see next. Who knows, maybe one day they'll find a jar of hummus so old it has its own fan club. Hummus, the smooth dip that's taken over the world, has a rich and mysterious history. People argue about where it comes from, with claims from both the Levant, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Palestine, and Egypt. Some say it's been around since the 13th century, while others believe it's even older. No matter who's claiming it, one thing is clear. Hummus has been around long enough to stir up some family rivalry. Now, it's so popular that it's not just a dip, it's a symbol of Middle Eastern cuisine. The world loves hummus, but ask any local, and they'll say they have the real recipe. Every great dish has its own story. Imagine it's the Middle Ages, and cooks are arguing over who made the best chickpea paste. The Levant and Egypt both claim they invented hummus, each saying, "We did it first." It wasn't about creating something fancy, just chickpeas, tahini, garlic, lemon, and olive oil. Back then, hummus was considered simple peasant food, but today it's a global snack. Picture a time when hummus was just a humble dish in homes, with no influencers making it a trend. Yet somehow, the simple chickpea became a star, turning from a peasant's dish into a luxury snack, one $12 tub at a time. The word hummus comes from the Arabic word for chickpeas, hummus, which makes sense because it literally tells you what the dish is, mainly chickpeas. Ancient food creators didn't bother with fancy names, they just called it what it was. Imagine if modern food names were that simple. Bacon bits, pasta with sauce, or even the sandwich. Pretty straightforward, right? There's something charming about it. Over time, hummus's ingredients have stayed mostly the same, which is both impressive and comforting. It's like that classic family recipe that's always been perfect. In a world where food trends change all the time, it's nice to know some things stay reliably delicious. Then there's the 2008 hummus showdown, when Lebanon and Israel both claim to have made the world's largest serving of hummus. Imagine a huge bowl the size of a pool, filled with creamy chickpea goodness, surrounded by thousands of people with pita and spoons. It wasn't just a fun event, it was a hummus battle. Both sides claimed to win, and hummus became a symbol of unity. As the world watched, it was clear. Hummus wasn't just food. It brought people together and maybe even helped settle some old debates. Enough history. Let's take a look inside the factory. The first step in making hummus is getting the best ingredients. The main ingredient is the chickpea, also known as a garbanzo bean. Chickpeas grow in places with good climates for legumes, like the Middle East, India, Turkey, Egypt, and California in the United States. The growing process can differ by region, but all chickpeas used for hummus are carefully checked for quality. In the factory, the type of chickpea chosen depends on the texture and flavor the final product needs. Some chickpeas are bigger and rounder, while others are smaller and more irregular, and these differences affect the hummus's texture. Chickpeas come in both dried and canned forms, but dried chickpeas are more often used in commercial hummus because they're cheaper. For dried chickpeas, the first step is a thorough cleaning to remove dirt, debris, and stones. This is important because any imperfections can affect the quality of the hummus. After cleaning, chickpeas are either soaked or cooked, depending on the brand's method. Soaking makes dried chickpeas softer and easier to blend into a smooth, creamy texture. Tahini is the next key ingredient and helps give hummus its smooth, rich flavor. Made from ground sesame seeds, tahini comes from places with a long history of growing sesame, like the Middle East, Mediterranean countries, Lebanon, Turkey, Greece, and parts of Asia. The sesame seeds are harvested, roasted, and ground into a thick paste, then processed to remove extra oils, creating a balanced product. The quality of tahini can vary a lot. Some brands use premium tahini, which is smoother, creamier, and more flavorful, while others use a simpler, cheaper version that can result in less complex flavor. Olive oil is an important ingredient in making hummus, helping to make it smooth and flavorful. It adds a light fruity taste and improves the creamy texture. Extra virgin olive oil, the highest quality, is usually chosen for its mild flavor and smoothness. Olive oil mostly comes from Mediterranean countries like Spain, Italy, and Greece, which have a long history of olive oil production. These countries grow many types of olives, each with its own unique flavor. The olive harvest is an important part of making olive oil because it affects the quality for the whole year. Lemon juice, garlic, and salt complete the flavor of hummus. Lemons are grown in many parts of the world, especially in Mediterranean countries and places with subtropical climates. Fresh lemon juice is best because it adds a tangy, refreshing taste. Garlic is also important and is usually chopped fresh before being added. The amount of garlic can vary, but it's generally used in small amounts so it doesn't overpower the dish. Finally, salt brings out the flavors of the other ingredients and balances the richness of the tahini and olive oil. When the chickpeas arrive at the factory, they go through a careful sorting and preparation process before being used in the hummus. The quality of the chickpeas is important for getting the right texture and flavor. First, the chickpeas are checked to remove any dirt, stones, or broken ones. Machines, like vibrating screens, are used to make sure only good chickpeas are selected. Each chickpea is carefully inspected by hand or machine to ensure there are no flaws in the batch. After the chickpeas are sorted, they go through a soaking process. If they are dried chickpeas, they are placed in large water tanks for 8 to 12 hours, depending on their size and type. Soaking has two main purposes. It softens the chickpeas, making them easier to cook, and it removes some of the sugars that can cause digestive discomfort. This step is important for getting smooth, creamy hummus. If the chickpeas are too firm, the hummus will be rough, and if they are over-soaked, they can become mushy and hard to work with. Once the chickpeas are soaked, they are drained and moved to large pressure cookers. This method helps cook them faster and evenly, which is important for getting a consistent texture. The cooking time can vary, but it usually takes about 45 minutes to 1 hour for the chickpeas to become soft and tender. The goal is to cook them just right, soft enough to blend into a smooth paste, but firm enough to hold their shape during processing. In some factories, pre-cooked chickpeas are used to keep the process consistent. These chickpeas are purchased in bulk, cooked, and then frozen for later use. Using pre-cooked chickpeas helps save time and energy during production. However, it's important that the chickpeas are properly thawed and reheated before blending to make sure the final product has the right texture. After the chickpeas are prepared, cooled, and checked for quality, they're ready to be blended into the hummus base. After the chickpeas are prepared, the next important step is blending and mixing. The goal is to create the smooth, creamy texture that makes hummus so great. The chickpeas are blended into a paste using large industrial food processors. These machines break down the chickpeas into a smooth, velvety consistency, making sure there are no lumps. The processors have sharp blades and strong motors to ensure an even blend, and operators watch closely to make sure the paste is the right texture. Once the chickpea paste is ready, tahini is added. The right amount of tahini is important because it gives hummus its creamy texture and flavor. Too much tahini can make it bitter, while too little can make it bland and less smooth. Manufacturers use precise measurements and the experience of their workers to get the perfect balance. The tahini is mixed well with the chickpeas to make sure the paste is smooth and consistent. Next, lemon juice, garlic, and salt are added to the mix to boost the flavor. Fresh lemon juice gives a tangy kick that balances the rich taste of tahini and olive oil, while garlic adds a savory depth. The garlic is carefully measured to keep it from overpowering the other flavors. Salt is added to bring everything together and enhance the taste. The exact amounts of each ingredient depend on the brand's recipe and the batch size. Finally, olive oil is added to make the hummus smooth and creamy. It helps give the hummus a rich texture, making it easier to spread and more enjoyable. The olive oil is slowly mixed in, so it blends well with the tahini and chickpeas to create a silky texture. Some manufacturers may even add a little extra olive oil on top to give the hummus a shiny finish before packaging. Once everything is mixed, the hummus is tasted to make sure it meets the right flavor and texture. Before the hummus is packaged and shipped, it goes through a strict quality check. This makes sure each batch meets the brand standards for taste, texture, and safety. One of the first steps is taste testing, where experts try a sample from each batch. They check that the hummus has the right mix of creamy, nutty, tangy, and savory flavors. If it doesn't meet the standards, changes are made to the recipe, like adding more lemon juice, garlic, or olive oil. Along with taste testing, the hummus is also checked for texture to make sure it's the right thickness. Hummus should be smooth, creamy, and easy to spread without being too runny or too stiff. This is checked by looking at it, testing by hand, and sometimes using tools that measure how thick it is. The hummus should flow smoothly off a spoon. If any batch doesn't meet these standards, adjustments are made before moving forward. Food safety is a top priority during quality control. Since hummus spoils easily, it is tested for harmful bacteria like Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli. Each batch is sent to a lab for testing to check for contamination. If any harmful bacteria are found, the batch is thrown out, and the factory looks into where the problem came from to prevent it from happening again. It's important to make sure hummus is safe since it's eaten by many people. Once the hummus passes the tests, it moves to packaging. This is the final step before it reaches consumers, and it helps keep the hummus fresh. The packaging materials are chosen to protect the product and keep it safe to eat. Containers, whether plastic tubs, glass jars, or other types, are cleaned before being filled with hummus to avoid contamination. After filling, the containers are sealed to keep the hummus fresh and prevent it from spoiling. Once the hummus passes quality control, it's ready for packaging, which helps keep it fresh and appealing. In large factories, packaging is usually done automatically. The containers, made of plastic, glass, or sometimes eco-friendly materials, are first cleaned to prevent contamination. This is done by using high-temperature steam or UV light to make sure the containers are free from bacteria before they are filled with hummus. Next, the hummus is carefully spooned into containers. In big factories, automated machines do this, making sure each container gets the right amount of hummus. The machines are designed to fill the containers without spilling or overfilling, and they can fill thousands of containers every hour. Even with machines, workers are there to watch over the process and make sure everything goes smoothly. After the hummus is put into containers, the lids are added and sealed to keep it fresh. Many companies use vacuum sealing or airtight lids to keep the hummus safe from spoilage and maintain its quality longer. Some may even add a thin layer of olive oil on top to make it look nicer and protect it from air, which could dry it out. This shiny finish helps the hummus look more appealing on store shelves. The packaging process also includes adding labels with important details like ingredients, nutrition facts, allergen warnings, and expiration dates. The labels are carefully placed to make sure the information is clear, accurate, and meets local rules. The labels are often designed to catch the eye, using bright colors and pictures of fresh ingredients like chickpeas, olive oil, and lemon to attract customers. The packaging design also helps each hummus brand stand out, reflecting its values, whether it's organic, gluten-free, or made with premium ingredients. Once the hummus is packaged, it's ready to be sent to distribution centers. Because it's perishable, it needs to be stored and transported in special conditions to stay fresh. The packaged hummus is stored in refrigerated units in warehouses, kept at a steady temperature of 34 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 to 4 degrees Celsius, to maintain its texture and flavor while preventing spoilage. Warehouses are big, temperature-controlled spaces that store products from different food makers. They have tracking systems to monitor the temperature and humidity. When lots of hummus is stored, it's arranged in pallets to make it easier to handle and ship. Warehouses also use inventory systems to keep track of how many hummus containers are available, ensuring they send out the right amount to meet demand. Once the hummus is stored, it's ready to be shipped to distribution centers. Special refrigerated trucks are used to transport the hummus, keeping it at the right temperature so it doesn't spoil during the journey. Distribution centers are key in the next step, where they receive the hummus from the manufacturer and send it to grocery stores or other retail locations. Distributing hummus is a detailed process. Distribution centers receive shipments from different factories, sort the products, and prepare them for delivery to stores. They work closely with retailers to keep the shelves stocked with fresh hummus. During busy times, like holidays or summer, when people eat more hummus, distribution becomes even more important, and extra shipments may be needed. Timely delivery is key to making sure customers get fresh, high-quality hummus. Hummus is popular all over the world because it's so versatile. You can use it as a dip, spread, or add it to dishes like wraps, bowls, or salads. It's a favorite snack for many people. Whether with pita bread, fresh veggies, or on sandwiches, its flexibility makes it a go-to option, and you can easily change up the flavor to suit any taste. Hummus has become even more popular because of the rise in healthy eating. It's full of protein, fiber, and important nutrients, making it a great choice for people looking for plant-based, gluten-free, or dairy-free foods. It also fits well with the growing interest in Mediterranean diets, which focus on fresh veggies, legumes, and healthy fats. Another reason hummus is so popular is because it fits well with Mediterranean and Middle Eastern diets, which focus on fresh, healthy ingredients. As more people are interested in these diets, the demand for hummus grows. Hummus offers a wide range of flavors, from the classic taste to new ones like roasted red pepper, sriracha, or avocado, keeping it exciting on store shelves. This variety lets people try new things while still enjoying the original flavor they love. Finally, hummus's long history and simple, tasty ingredients have helped it stay popular. With roots going back centuries, it's loved by many cultures for its authentic flavor and the way it brings people together. Its versatility, health benefits, and cultural importance make it a classic food that will continue to be a favorite for years. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Your thumb gets a workout, and we get the love. And if you haven't subscribed to the Process Powerhouse channel yet, seriously, what are you waiting for? A VIP invitation. Come on, hit that button. Got a factory process you're curious about? Drop it in the comments. We might just make it happen. No promises on a conveyor belt cameo,